Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. Today we're going to be talking about the distinguishment between a CME, which is a coronal mass ejection, and an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse efficiency that has the capabilities of shutting down the whole biotonic electrical grid node on the planet. Now, a CME has the same capabilities, but it's more predicated around the orchestration of galactic law and order through the metaphysical principles of the universe, which is the personification of divine retribution. So you're basically talking about the science of the unknown, which is prophecy, which is the precursor and the foundation to eschatology, the science of the end times, right? So with all that shit being said, the ancient souls of the ancestors is a frequency and the electromagnetic conduit that's encapsulated inside the biological structure of humans. Like, for example, the ancient souls of Egypt, the ancient souls of Atlantis, the ancient souls of Shambhala, the ancient souls of the Anunnaki, the ancient souls of the black people who died during the time of slavery. When they died, their soul was extracted to the sun and projected back down on the planet as a form of a solar flare, right? So this is why you get DNA activations. This is why you get premonitions. This is why you get downloads. That's because the ancestors is working through you to where you reap the benefits of spiritual atonement because you are a light body trapped inside of a light prison, which is a prison because Earth is a prison planet. Because when you break down the etymological roots of the word vitamin, it means vitality, Amen Ra. Ra is the sun to where you receive intrinsic light code transmission from the sun to activate the carbonated melanated biological structure, which connects you to the source, which is the sun, that activates the non-ether genetical properties. You see what I'm saying? So this is where it activates the junk DNA, such as intuition, psychometry, clairvoyance, telepathy. That's because it's activating the neural synapses, which is basically in alignment to the Akashic records, the tree of life, which is all throughout your DNA. Right? So like I said, the ancestors is basically working through you through those intrinsic light codes, right? So let me get my screen share going. You got these light codes, you know what I'm saying? The charged particles, hold on for a second. You got the charged particles that basically is infiltrating the magnetosphere. And once it infiltrates the magnetosphere, it'll basically deplete the whole electrical grid node on the planet. Because when you understand the science of wordology, the word electricity has the word tri in there. Tri is a compilation of three things, which governs the third dimension, which is people, places, and possessions, right? The illusionary Vedic simulation of a Luciferian system. So now, like I said, the grid node can be depleted. So everything they do in technology is an emulation of everything in nature. So an EMP has the same capabilities. They're both synonymous, but a CME is more predicated upon prophetic intrinsic light codes to activate the 144,000s who are the chosen ones. An EMP is based on a frequency modification that can infiltrate the ionosphere that creates the subatomic particles, which also creates the illusionary world to where you can only see things with your physical eye, not your spiritual eye, right? So these charged particles, once they infiltrate the magnetosphere, it'll basically deplete the third dimension because you're going from a third dimensional frequency to a fifth dimensional frequency. So everything that's predicated upon going against nature, it will be destroyed. So I'm going to show you a picture. Let me get to it. Now, this EMP is basically the trajectories of ionization, and the ionized particles is what creates the subatomic particles. Because, like I said, those charged particles in the ionosphere is what makes you see things with the physical eye, to where it keeps you acclimated on the low vibrational frequency of subjugation, to meaning that you're bounded on the frequency of time, because time is the element and the provider for physical life, which puts the body in retrograde, right? So the geometric lines in the firmament is what keeps you acclimated to the matrix. So when you got the fifth dimensional Earth, the frequency, these charged particles is basically going to deplete the whole grid. It's going to shut everything down to where you can't operate any type of vehicles after 1975. You cannot use any form of technology on the planet because the solar winds is basically depleting everything. So you won't be able to use anything as far as technology once these coronal mass ejections, which is colossal plasma energy that's hitting the planet. Now, when you hear the phrase that the revolution won't be televised, that is a motherfucking, that's a fact. That's a prophecy, because they know that the intrinsic light codes is basically the personification of the souls that once lived on the planet who died. So like I said, it's going to activate you based upon the non-ether genetical properties, right? So we're going to go. So now, this is in alignment to the Great Reset as well. Now, the Great Reset, you know what I'm saying? In order to usher in a technocracy, this whole system has to be shut down, because it's not going to be one of those things where they're not going to be like, hey, you're going to have, you got 2 weeks until we get rid of the American dollar. You know what I'm saying? Because the American dollar is not, it doesn't have any type of intrinsic value, because it hasn't been backed by a natural resource since 1934, right? So it's not backed by any type of gold, no type of oil or anything like that. So in order to usher in a technocracy, they had to shut the whole system down. So that's why the elite, they make their decisions based on the astrological alignments of the planets to where they can hide prophecy. So that's why, like I said, everything they have in technology is an emulation of everything in nature. So they can basically subjugate you mentally, so where you can't see beyond the illusion, right? So now, in order to get intuitive understanding of the DNA activations, because I told you the biological structure of the carbonated body is an electromagnetic generator and a light code transducer. So like I said, it's gonna connect you to the source, which is full spectrum solidified, right? Full spectrum light solidified. So because light is intelligence, and light is basically personification of carbon, which is the building block of all civilization. So when you're in alignment with the source, based upon your mentality, you know what I'm saying, you'll be able to reap the benefits of having these DNA activations, the intrinsic metaphysical abilities that's activated by the hippocampus layer of the brain, right? So now, this is also in alignment to the reason why Senate, you know what I'm saying, they made daylight savings time permanent. Why is that? Now, why would they do that? That's because they know that we're living in a time where the planet is going to be at solar maximum. Because the last time, history repeats itself. The last time we was in this type of purification period is when you had the 1918 Spanish flu happened, and then the precursor to that was the fucking economic crash, the Great Depression. In order to revitalize the system, you have to have a war. So this is basically synonymous to everything that's going on. So you're in a perpetual state of a loop that's governed by a 3-dimensional frequency, but they're not going to be able to reap the benefits of putting people in a form of mental subjugation, because the firmament is being depleted by the 5th dimensional frequency, because during that time period we wasn't acclimated to 5D and 4th dimensional Earth. So now I'm going to show you how they make these movies and everything. Everything is predicated upon prophecy. They have to show you the truth in order to balance out their karma on the planet. So I'm going to show you a clip of the movie. It's a trailer that's about to come out, made by Jordan Peele, and he's actually talking about a 5th dimensional frequency hitting the planet and the intrinsic light codes that's activated by Nibiru, who are the Anunnaki. So once they infiltrate this magnetosphere, that basically depletes everything on the planet, to where you're going to see in the video all electrical forms of technology. You won't be able to use it. Everything in the system shuts down in totality. So I'm gonna show you the clip right now.
Did you know that the very first assembly of photographs to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse? And that man is my great-great-grandfather.
Great.
There's another great. grandfather. But that's why back at the Haywood Ranch, as the only Black-owned horse trainers in Hollywood, we like to say, since the moment pitchers could move, yeah, skin in the game.
See how everything's shutting down? See that little UFO right there? That's a sham. See, you know what I'm saying? This is all symbolism. Now you see the white horse, you know what I'm saying? Which is basically the symbology to destruction, right? You got the white horse.
What's a bad miracle?
Then you got the black horse, which is another form of pestilence, because black means death in science. You know what I'm saying? Then, like I said, all this is basically in alignment to the fact that they had to tell you the truth about the reality of extraterrestrials. Like I said, look at these. You know what I'm saying? These are basically graves. You know what I'm saying? They putting the truth right in your fucking face.
They got a word for that.
Now that you see that guy fell off on the horse, like I said, I don't want to say the word, but you know what I'm saying? All this is predicated upon the pharmaceutical aspects that they like to advertise to us in order to put our spiritual, genetics in a form of cryostasis to where you can't ascend, because technology in itself is what locks down the intrinsic DNA of the ancestors. So in the future, based upon the decision they made with the, when the grid node is depleted, a lot of these people don't understand they have that microscopic nanotechnology inside their biological structure. So when the system is depleted, they're going to be depleted. So like I said, the Great Reset is not also predicated upon the economic infrastructure. It's also talking about condensing down the population as well. That's why that guy fell off the horse, because the intrinsic light codes is not synonymous to technology that's all throughout your body. So that's why it's imperative to fast, because fasting is what speeds up your vibration.
Yeah, no.
See, like, you see that right there? So now you see Nibiru, she's getting beamed up, just like Dr. York said, but they try to, say it's all about cryptozoology and things of that nature. But Dr. York, he said that, once light hits a dimension, it can reverse the polarity of time due to the octave ethers being activated in this infrastructure. So basically, time is basically an artificial construct. So when Nibiru comes in, when they beam up the chosen ones, like she's getting beamed up, it can reverse the polarity of time, because time on their planet, one day in Nibiru or planet Risk is actually 1,000 years. So actually you're talking about rapture, which you got the word Ra in there, because I told you the light code transmission is based upon the science of the words. You got rapture, Ra, which is the sun. Vitality, Amun Ra, which is the sun. The light code transmission. So she's being activated, and what not activated, she's being beamed up based on the genetical properties of who she is. Because like I said, carbon is basically in alignment to magnetism, right? And Nibiru is a big ball of energy, which is because it has its own solar system as well. So it was imperative that I get out this transmission because we living in a time to where people don't understand they can't decipher the delineation between what's real and what's fake. So I had to put out this transmission in order for people to see beyond the illusion, because during the course of time, when these governmental powers, when things is going to start shaking up on the planet through military weaponry and frequency modification, and all these governmental powers in these countries are going to be fighting, they're going to try to say certain things is based upon an EMP, when really it was a coronal mass ejection, which is the plasma energy on the planet raising the planet up to a fifth dimensional frequency to where it depletes the whole grid node. So that's how you see beyond the illusion. Because like I told you, everything they have in technology is an emulation of everything they have in nature. So that's the polarity of the third dimension that keeps you in a perpetual state of being acclimated to the illusionary world. So please get this video out there. Share this video. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at BDL1014. I'm also on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter because I'm banned on Twitter. So every time I make a Twitter page, they basically shut me down. They suspend me. I haven't been on Twitter for about 2.5 years. So just find me on those two social media platforms. Thanks for watching. Share this video. Thank you.